Good afternoon from the Universal Orlando parking garage. I'm just going to get this out of the way right off the bat. Today, Universal Orlando officially canceled Halloween Horror Nights for this year, 2020, due to COVID-19. So, no Halloween Horror Nights this year. However, they did put up a Halloween Horror Nights tribute shop. It's not open yet, but the facade is on the outside, so we're going to go inside and have a look at that. We're going to look at of course, the Jurassic Park roller coaster construction. But as far as Halloween Horror Nights being canceled, I think that it was the right choice. It is sad, and it's not great for the Orlando economy because there was a lot of jobs that came in through Halloween Horror Nights. A lot of money came in as far as tickets and food and drink sales and all of that stuff. It was a big draw. People planned entire vacations around Halloween Horror Nights. Now that's not happening this year. So a little bit of a sad day, especially for the people that don't have a job now because they were going to work at Halloween Horror Nights. And all of the money that was coming in to pay those people is no longer coming into Orlando. So, not good, but it was the right choice because I don't know how they could have done it. I really don't know how they could have done it. Now, admittedly, we kind of had a feeling that they were going to cancel Halloween Horror Nights because Disney canceled their Halloween event, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We kind of had a feeling like there's practically no way that Universal could do Halloween Horror Nights. Close quarters type event, people scaring, people like packed shoulder to shoulder trying to get in. I couldn't wrap my head around how they would do it in today's environment. So, kind of felt it was coming. But one thing that's interesting to note is that Busch Gardens has not announced anything for their Hallow Scream event. So, that is their Halloween Horror Night type event where they have scares and scare actors and haunted houses. And they haven't announced anything as far as that being canceled yet. So I wanted to ask you all what you thought is going to happen with Busch Gardens and Hallow Scream. Do you think they're going to do it? What do you think it would look like if they do it? And do you think it's a good idea for them to do it? I don't know. It seems kind of iffy to me. I don't think it'll happen. But I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on it. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Hallow Scream. The last time that we were here, we talked about how Universal Cinemark opened and how they were showing some interesting movies like Back to the Future, Beetlejuice, Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, Zootopia, Back to the Future, E.T., Ghostbusters, Goonies, Karate Kid, Jaws. Definitely some interesting movies being shown at this movie theater this weekend. So although it doesn't look like they've done a lot of work, they have done some work demolishing this area here that used to be the fossil store. Kind of looks like they started putting up new walls on the inside. Are those new walls or those old walls that they have yet to demolish? It's a good question, but they've definitely done a lot of demo on this. Did the wall used to come out further? You can kind of see these columns are all exposed now, or were they just columns? They may have just been columns. All right, let's head into Universal Studios. Have a look at this Halloween Horror Nights tribute store. So as we head into Universal Studios, I did want to mention that I had heard reports that said that they were not allowing neck gaiters at Universal Studios anymore, just like at Disney. From seeing people walking around with a ton of neck gaiters on, I don't think that those reports were true, or they're not enforcing that. After spending the last few park days at Disney, walking into Universal and seeing it be kind of crowded kind of takes you off guard. Well, a lot of people rolling around in here, isn't there? But it is only a 15-minute wait for Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem, and there are also more signs around that say face covering required. I didn't see those the last time that we were here. So we are now in the New York section of the park, and this is where the Halloween Horror Nights tribute store is, over here in the I. Stein & Company storefront. Fine jewelry. So we got the announcement that they were canceling Halloween Horror Nights today. So I'm wondering when they're going to open up this tribute store and what's going to be inside of it, what the theming inside is going to be like, because typically there is a lot of theming around what would be the houses for the year. And so because there are going to be no Halloween Horror Nights houses this year, we don't know what the theming inside is going to be. Maybe it'll be a general horror theme, or what would have been the houses this year. So another question that I have about the tribute store is, do you think they actually will open it? Because, like, what are they going to sell in there? Are they going to sell Halloween Horror Nights 30 merchandise? Because why wouldn't they just save that till next year when they have Halloween Horror Nights 30? Also, what do you think some of this stuff is here? Like, springs and, like, conductors of sorts? I don't know what any of this stuff is. Like, what is the theming of the outside of this place? Just like, I guess electrical components? But this looks like an old church that burned down, maybe. I don't know. And these doors and a huge chain. Another thing that, as I've been standing here looking at the outside of this store, oh, they just turned on this light here. Or has that light always been on? Do you see it in the R? So as I've been standing here, people have been walking up and trying the doors. And then I said, oh, have you heard anything about it opening? And they said, yeah, somebody over at Islands of Adventure, a team member, told us that it was open right now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this store. It's very interesting and very confusing at the same time. But I did want to say that if you are missing Halloween Horror Nights like we are, and like we will this year, we do have a lot of Halloween Horror Nights videos. We got a whole playlist that we'll put in the description down below. But if you're interested in seeing walkthroughs of the houses, walkthroughs of the streets, multiple years, videos inside, out of the houses, bunch of different things. They turned me into a scare actor one year. Lots of Halloween Horror Nights videos. So we'll put a playlist in the description down below. Check it out. I'm sure it will help you miss Halloween Horror Nights less this year. Let's see what else we can find around the park. Sounds like they just started doing the Lagoon daytime show. Oh yeah, there's some water squirting up. Or it just ended. Oh, I'm getting all wet over here. The water's just blowing over here. As we get closer to Diagon Alley and we're passing by King's Cross, which is where the Hogwarts Express is loaded and unloaded, that travels between the parks, I wanted to turn behind me and show you guys the area that I would sit to eat at Universal Studios. So over here behind Pier 41, which is part of Lombard's, down on this dock, there is so much open space and so many secluded tables that I would feel comfortable getting something to eat and taking it back there to eat. So one of the telltale signs that happened that made us excited for Halloween Horror Nights happening was the Fear Factor sign getting covered up. And we hoped that that meant that they were going to put a Halloween Horror Nights show in here, that they were working on putting a Halloween Horror Nights show in here. But we know now that either they were doing that and we just got the word today, and that means that the production for building a new show and practicing for a new show for Halloween Horror Nights at Fear Factor Live is just shut down today, or this was covered up for the fact that this is a U-Rest area and they're not running Fear Factor right now. Another interesting thing to note is that they were still working on Halloween Horror Nights houses right up until today. You can kind of see that tent outline back there. That would have been a Halloween Horror Nights house for this year. And so some of that is built inside of there, and we're just wondering if they're going to set that aside and use that same bit that they built for next year, or if they're going to tear that out and start fresh, even though they are probably going to be using the same house designs, or if they're just going to let it sit for an entire year. So it should also be noted that people were working on the haunted houses probably all the way up until today, meaning that today they don't have a job anymore. Or they're done with this project and they have to move on to the next one, but who knows if they have the next project lined up. So this is a huge blow to Orlando's economy for sure. And there's a lot of repercussions and a lot of ripple effects to Halloween Horror Nights being canceled. Also down here behind Duff Gardens seems like a nice spot to sit and have a very physically distant meal. The other place that I was talking about is right across the way there, right behind Fisherman's Cove. Theme Park Duck doing the Bartman as he walks through Springfield. This is the first time that I'm seeing this. It looks like we've got Branch from Trolls up here in Central Park, kind of sort of up on these steps. Let's say hi to Branch. He's like super backlit. There he is. And we got two different musics happening too. So if you guys remember, over here by the entrance to Central Park, for the past few videos, there's just been a slab here. And we were like, I wonder what they're gonna put there. And then just one day, this crepe stand popped up. So there it is, Central Park Crepes. They sell crepes. The menu's up. The actual booth is not open yet, but let's go see what they have on the menu. So here's a look at the menu. Oh man, I feel like I would eat any of this stuff, but I feel like the first one that I'm gonna get is this smoked brisket one. That sounds so good. Ooh, what would I get for dessert? Maybe strawberry hazelnut? Oh, buddy. Cookies and cream sounds so good. And then they do have Coke Freestyle machines on the side over here as well. Right here. Just looking inside, still have some blueprints out. It looks like they just installed the countertops. You can see this is that's a template for a countertop. Probably that countertop back there with the sinks on it. Yeah, see, you can see the templates are still here. Either that or they're still just trying to protect the countertops with the templates from when they installed them. It looks interesting. I don't know when they're gonna open it though, but it looks very nice. So we'll definitely be here to try the crepes whenever this place opens. If we don't eat them here, we'll take them home. Probably just order everything on the menu because it looks good. Everything looks good. What do you say? Should we head over to Islands of Adventure now and check on the Jurassic Park roller coaster? Oh my goodness, Schwab's Pharmacy ice cream shop is open. I feel like it's hardly ever open. The last time that we were here was for the Mardi Gras Shake Shakes. We'll put that video in the description down below, but that's the only other time that we've ever been able to get ice cream here because it's usually closed. Looks like they're loading a show for the Born Stuntacular. The next show is in 15 minutes, and you can see they have people lined up down the street here waiting to get in. I guess they are just counting the amount of people rather than loading them into the queue. Interesting, there's a team member out there with a clipboard asking people how many in their party and then writing something down and then having them go inside. Kind of back behind the Born Stuntacular is a sign here that says team member event. Team member is what they call the employees here at Universal, so I wonder what they're doing back there. So I kind of mention this fairly often, but I wanted to mention it again. This plane out in front of the Margaritaville here in Citywalk is the Hemisphere Dancer, which is Jimmy Buffett's actual plane. And it's this plane that was featured in the song that he wrote, Jamaica Mistaka. And if you get up close to it, you can find patched holes from where it was shot at, as heard in the song Jamaica Mistaka. So it's about 4:30, the parks close at 6, and judging by how full that boat is, it seems like maybe more people are starting to make the trips out to Universal Orlando and stay at on-site hotels. Here we are in Islands of Adventure. Not a cloud in the sky. I'm just kidding, there is a cloud in the sky. But let's go back and have a look at this roller coaster. Also, another strange thing to note is that it's not, I mean, it feels less busy in this park than it felt over at Universal Studios, but I have noticed that the parks have been kind of flowing and surging. So like you can see up ahead of us, there's a large crowd of people heading towards us. So it will feel crowded again once those people get up here. As I was passing by the caricature stand, I noticed 2020 memories. The whole family wearing masks. All right, let's head down into the U-Rest area. Hello! And have a look at the roller coaster. Not the Hulk, the Jurassic Park roller coaster. So there it is, as we look across the lagoon, the Jurassic Park roller coaster. So one thing that we can see is that they've hung a flag, and it looks like the Jurassic Park flag, but that means that this was the highest point and it has been topped off. So the roller coaster's highest point is right here at this top hat. So from the pictures that I've seen going around on the internet recently, the majority of the new stuff that we can go and see is back behind the Discovery Center over by Jurassic Park River Adventure. But we will go back behind Me Ship the Olive to see if there's anything new that we can see from over there. So I was just walking by the wait times and I want to show the wait times here. Doesn't look too bad, like some really short wait times. And also Haggard's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure has a 45-minute wait, meaning that there is most likely a standby line, but there's also this sign here that says that there's a virtual line available for it. So what is it? What does that mean? Does that mean that there is a standby line? We're gonna have to go back there and investigate. As we're walking through Toon Lagoon, I always wondered how many of the characters in this area do kids have no idea who they are? Like, there's got to be a lot of them, right? Like, actually all of them? Back by Popeye and Bluto's Bill Drat barges. Oh man, they were screaming at that first drop. Boy, are they in for it. All right, let's head back behind Me Ship the Olive and have a better look at the Jurassic Park roller coaster construction. So I kind of came off to a new spot to try to get a good look at the top hat here. Not really a good look at it, so let's go back out. I think the sun will be back behind me because we're here much later in the day. Oh look, they put the air conditioners up on top of the roof. That's good. Moving right along. All right, let's go back to where we were. Not much has changed since the last time we were here looking down this roller coaster track, but they have completed the highest point on this roller coaster, and yeah, you can see it's definitely a Jurassic Park flag up there, notating the highest point on the roller coaster has been completed. I don't know if all of the track is done now, but like I've said before, we know that they're not going to put any trains on the track and do any testing until all of these bolts have been screwed down tight and double checked. So it'll be a little bit of time before we see any trains on this track, but it will be exciting when that actually happens. All right, let's head on to the other side of this building over here and take a look at some of the rock work that they've done. Oh, interesting to note that the fountain out in front of the Toon Lagoon sign is on. Huh. Seen a lot of splash pads turned off, but that one's turned on. So we are leaving Toon Lagoon and heading towards the Jurassic Park area, just past Kong first, but heading into Jurassic Park. I felt like this entire park has been so crowded today, but then I get into areas like this where there's hardly anybody. I'm telling you guys, it's really strange to be in a theme park these days. Standing outside of Camp Jurassic, and it's so strange to turn the corner in this direction and see the roller coaster there, because normally there wasn't anything there, it was just all trees, and now it looks completely different. It kind of throws you off a little bit, because this is the exit to Jurassic Park River Adventure, and you're just not used to seeing stuff here. Look at, there's rocks there and everything now. Wow, so much more framework for rocks, and it looks like they've got like stone, like concrete up on the rocks, and it kind of looks like they've painted it, started to do some theming texture on it. Wow, they are really moving along with this, which is bizarre to me because like the park's been shut down for 4 months, and now they're like, oh, by the way, we're building this ridiculous new roller coaster. What in the world is going on here? Look at this. This rock work is basically finished. This is what we thought was like, kind of looked like a brontosaurus or something. It definitely isn't. But look at the way that the track dives between these pieces of rock, and all of the rest of this area is also going to be rock. Wow. This is going to change the landscape here dramatically. Dramatically. Looks like you've got some team members up there doing some inspection on the rock work. Wow. I am super impressed by all of this. Like how far along they are right at this moment in time. Man, I could just stand here and look at the intricacies of this rock work and how the coaster track is just intertwined with it. Wow. That is so impressive. And then also, oh, there's this other section here that's going to be a like large rock outcropping. And then a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex head. And then where this guard tower is over here, looks like it's coming along. Wow. So some people were telling me that what I thought was the gift shop, which was this, is actually the launch of the coaster. So I guess the coaster launches out of this. I don't know. It seems like where the guard tower is might be the launch. But then again, I've been wrong numerous times. So this might be the launch. I got a little spot of higher ground where I can look in a little bit better and see more of the intricacies of this rock work and how the coaster dives through it. Mind-boggling. At least for me it is. Like, I know that not everybody is as impressed by like rocks and twisted steel as I am, but it's so cool. So I'm gonna throw out another bit of conjecture, and I know that everybody said I was wrong with this being the gift shop, so I accept defeat with that one. But how about this being the entrance to the ride? Right there. You walk in underneath the track, and then you go into the building on the back side of it. I think that like that might happen, right? Like that could be a thing. Because like that could be the entrance, right? Could be a sign on top of that. You walk in, and then you go into this queue building here. Then you're loaded onto the train somewhere over there. And then you launch out of this building. Right? Yeah, so admittedly, it looks less like the gift shop now than it did the last time that we were here. Why do I hear Harry Potter music? Sounds like they're doing the nighttime castle show behind me, which is weird because it's the middle of the day. And what? Did they just set off fireworks? That's the castle show. What just happened? So what that sounded like to me was the nighttime projection show on Hogwarts Castle with the fireworks ending? But it's the middle of the day. I don't know. That's very strange. I don't know why they would do that in the middle of the day. Maybe I just misheard. Still nothing to update on the lockers at Forbidden Journey. But there it is. There's a block wall here. So every other trip that we've made here, Hogsmeade has been the most difficult to maintain physical distancing in. Let's see if today's any different. So I should mention that it is 5:15 and the park closes at 6. So looking pretty good right now. Very easy to maintain physical distance in here. Yep, it looks like they have both open, the standby queue and the virtual queue. So that's an interesting note for today. It's only a 25-minute wait too. Just right in front of Hagrid's is just a bottleneck. or just a ton of people walk through. So as we get into Seuss Landing, one thing that just kind of hit me is with the cancellation of Halloween Horror Nights, I wonder if we're still going to have Grinchmas. I know that it is two completely different events, but there is a theater show that would be hard to do. I don't know if it would be hard to do, but it would be different, fitting as few people in as possible to see How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Like, I know that they could do it with physical distancing in theaters, but seems like that would then make it so it would be an extremely long wait to see. But then again, I have this bad habit of remembering how things were before the shutdowns. It would have been a huge long wait. After the shutdowns, there's not a lot of people in the park, so maybe it wouldn't be a long wait. Maybe it'd be very easy to socially distance in the theater. I don't know. Everything's different now. So over here by Circus McGurkus, which is currently closed, but they do have social distancing or physical distancing markers out front, so maybe they will open it. There's a blue construction fence over here, and I have no idea why it's here. It says set enhancements in progress, but I don't know. It's not for one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, because that's still up and running, as you can see in the background. Maybe they're just working on some concrete over here, doing a little concrete replacement or something. But this is where you'd line up to go to Grinchmas, or How the Grinch Stole Christmas show. Here's an interesting one. Back behind the Cat in the Hat, there's a U-Rest area where you can relax without your mask on, and it seems like nobody is back here because it's kind of way off the beaten path. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Actually doesn't look like it's open right now because there's nobody here to man it. But I mean, you could go back there. I don't think anybody would stop you.
Welcome back, my fish
But yeah,
friends.
look at that. There is nobody back here in this U-Rest area. There's a section of the park back by the bathrooms on the other side of Seuss Landing that has a sign that says Q. Q is for Quan. Quan is for Quandary. And over here, I like this. This is Floob. Floob is for Floob, Boober, Bab, Boober, Bubs. Perfect. So there you have it. That was our trip out to Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. Over at Universal Studios, we talked a little bit about Halloween Horror Nights, how it was officially canceled, which stinks, but ultimately it was the right choice to do. Still a lot of questions going on around that. Like, what's going to happen with the tribute store? Are they going to open it? What are they going to sell in there? They do have some retro merch that's kind of like celebrating years past, but there's not that much of it. What they would normally be selling is merch from this year's event, which is not happening anymore. So maybe they won't open that store. Maybe they will. I don't know what they're going to sell in there if they do open it. So we're curious to see what's going to happen in there. And as far as the Jurassic Park roller coaster goes, wow. That's every time that I see it, every time that I come here, there's something new, something huge, something fantastic going on with it. I'm so excited for that roller coaster. I cannot wait to see it running, to get on it, to ride it, to see where it goes, to see like what the theme is, how the rocks look, what all is happening on it, what it's like if it's gonna be like Hagrid's, a story coaster, or if it's just gonna be a regular old roller coaster, no animatronics. A lot of questions about that too. So all in all, a fantastic day. And with that being said, we are off. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And now it's time to help. So today's organization that we want to shine a spotlight on is the ACLU, or the American Civil Liberties Union. And it was founded in 1920. The ACLU works in the courts, legislatures, and communities to defend and preserve the individual rights and liberties guaranteed to all people in this country. The ACLU also remains a champion of segments of the population who have traditionally been denied their rights, with much of their work today focused on equality for people of color, women, gay and transgender people, prisoners, immigrants, and people with disabilities. So the ACLU is definitely a good organization to support. They help across so many different spectrums of the people of the United States and upholding the law and the Constitution in the courts of the United States. So be sure to check out the link in the description and learn a little bit more about the ACLU. If you can, donate. If you can't, just learning about them and sharing their story with your friends and family definitely helps out. So thank you guys for watching this video.